When I go too long, just go ahead and pull me off the stage. All right? But anyone who knows Amy knows her heart. They know that there's no one who cares more about other people, whether they're family members, friends, neighbors, or those poor little sad puppy dogs and kitty cats on the SPCA commercial where they had the Sarah McLachlan song. No one cares more about others than Amy does. And I know that for most of you all in the room, that's why you're here tonight, because you know her heart and you know what she wants to do for other people. You don't know half of it, because I've seen how she loves me. I've seen how she loves our daughter, Ruth Grace. And I just, in fact, you can know her heart by, if you ask her why she decided to go practice law, she's going to say, so she can help people like her now. And that's the kind of person that she is. Not only does she have a big heart, but she's a tireless and hard worker. All right? I have seen her stay up for hours and hours at night after a long day of taking care of Ruth Grace and putting all her effort into a new appellate brief for a client or another attorney. And I have no doubt that she's going to put that tireless, hard work ethic to good use down in Montgomery. That's right. Now, I will say that some people say it's just because she's competitive. And maybe that comes from her football coach father. More likely, it comes from her uber competitive mother. Okay. But either way, I know she's going to work hard for everyone down in Montgomery. And also, not only does she have a big heart, not only is she a tireless worker, but she's really good at what she does. All right, I've seen her take briefs, or I've seen her take cases that were doomed to lose and put her meticulous attention to detail, her incredible problem-solving skills, and get some attorneys off the hook. All right, and really help out some clients. If there's ever hope for an unjust or incorrect result in a case, Amy's going to find it, even if that attorney was a Republican. I tried to work with her on that one, but she still puts her full effort forward. But anyway, it's with great pride that I introduce to you the next state senator for District 2, Amy Wasyluka.
Thank you all so much. I really want to thank you all for coming out tonight and for supporting me in this campaign. The outpouring of support that each and every one of y'all have given me over the past couple months has been amazing. And I am truly humbled and inspired by each and every one of you, and I just can't thank you enough. I also want to thank my wonderful campaign staff and volunteers, especially Lisa over there, without whom this kickoff and this campaign would not be nearly as awesome as it is today. They keep me sane and they keep us on track. I also want to thank my family, my mom and my dad and my brother, who are all here tonight. They have made me the person that I am today, and in no small part made me want to run for office. I also want to thank my husband Tim, who is probably the best husband anyone could ask for. He somehow puts up with me when I have decided to go on this crazy ride and run for state senate, and he is my biggest supporter and cheerleader. I also finally want to thank, last but not least, my little daughter Ruth Grace, because she inspires me daily to make our world and our state a better place. As some of you may have heard, I am running for State Senate District 2. When I first thought about running, I got the same question over and over again. Why do I want to run for office? And when I thought about it, the answer is simple. When I think about my life, I think about how incredibly lucky and blessed I have been. I was given up for adoption when I was born, and at 6 months old, I was lucky to get the best parents anyone could have ever asked for. Phyllis and David Scott, they're right over there. You can all look at them and say hi. I was lucky again. At 4 years old, my parents discovered that I had a complete hearing loss in one of my ears, and we had access to the medical care and health professionals and support necessary to make sure that I didn't lose any more of my hearing and that I was able to succeed in school. I got lucky again at 8 years old, and my father lost his job. He went from being the vice president of a company to doing roofing, and my mother went from stay-at-home mom to working in a department store. Now, to a lot of you, that might not sound lucky, and at times, it might not have felt lucky to us, but in reality, it was the best thing that could have ever happened. I remember watching my mom go to work at that department store and how hard she worked, and I remember thinking very clearly, oh my goodness, I want to be just like her. And I still do. And my parents worked very hard and instilled in me the hard work ethic and dedication that I will bring to Montgomery until they were able to become teachers. My parents are now both retired, but after that they worked for 20 years as educators. My dad taught science and my mom taught math. Having my parents as educators was also very lucky because it enabled me to see firsthand the kind of time, effort, and passion that teachers put into their students every day. I remember them coming home after a long, hard day of teaching and coaching and staying up late working on lesson plans and finding new ways to engage and motivate their students because my parents really cared. And just like a lot of teachers, they wanted to make sure that every student coming into their classroom had the tools necessary and the opportunity to succeed. Having my parents as teachers in the school system where I was very lucky for another reason. It gave me a support network. And that support network was much needed when at 17, I was diagnosed with cancer. It started small, just a pimple, I thought, in the fall. And by Christmas, when that pimple hadn't gone away and had grown to the size of a golf ball, we knew that something was wrong. I went in for surgery just after Christmas in 2001, and a couple of days later, my parents got the phone call that no parent ever wants to hear. A doctor telling them that their daughter has cancer. And I was lucky again. I survived. Not everybody does. And within a mere 2 months, I had completed chemotherapy. Although I lost all my hair, the reflexes in my knees, and a lot of my strength. I had gone from winning a gold medal in the 4x4 relay for indoor track just a few months prior to barely being able to walk upstairs. But I learned about dedication and determination from my parents, and I was determined not to let cancer slow me down. And I went to Auburn University, and 4 years later, I completed my first marathon. Don't cheer too hard for that, I haven't done one since.
One's enough.
One was enough. After Auburn, I went on to the University of Alabama School of Law, where I promptly aged out of my parents' medical insurance. Being a cancer survivor, being a childhood cancer survivor, the only insurance I could purchase was catastrophic coverage, which in short did not enable me to have sick visits. It did not enable me to have yearly checkups. In short, it doesn't allow you to have the kind of care necessary for me as a cancer survivor to maintain my health. So consequently, I was sick all the time. It also does not enable you to have the kind of care necessary for me to have caught my cancer had it come back during that time. And again, I got lucky. My cancer did not come back. And I was able to complete law school and marry my wonderful husband, Tim.
She married me for the health insurance, by the way.
Smart woman.
Having watched my parents as educators and having gone through cancer and gone through law school, I knew that I wanted to use my law degree to help people, and I did. I started out in the domestic violence unit where I represented victims of domestic violence, and since then I worked in areas as diverse as family law and bankruptcy. Using my law degrees taught me many things. Among those are how to work with people even when you don't agree with them, how to see every side of an issue, and that the quick and easy answer is very rarely ever the correct one. Then, in 2013, everything changed. And I found out that I was going to have a little girl. And I started to think about my duty and my responsibility to make our world and make our state the kind of state that I want for my daughter. As a lifelong Methodist, I believe that to whom much is given, much is also required. And when the issue of health care made waves, both before and after the 2016 election, I knew that the time had come to act. When I think about the life that I want for my daughter, I think about three things. And those three things are going to be the focus of my campaign. I think about education, I think about her health, and I think about opportunity. As your next state senator, I will support public education and educators. Because I want all of our children to be able to go to good, well-funded public schools. Where we value the effort that our teachers put in. I also want our children to have the ability to maintain their health. Investing in the health of our state is not only the most financially responsible thing to do, it is the morally right thing to do. When people are able to maintain their health, they are better able to go to school, work, and to reinvest in their community. Finally, I want my daughter to have opportunity. To get opportunity, we need jobs, and we need infrastructure. Living in Madison, I am well aware of the infrastructure needs of our community and how those have been neglected very badly with the last administration. It doesn't take much driving from school, driving to work, driving here, to know that our two-lane roads do not support the growth that our district has already gone through. And they will not support the growth that our district is expected to have in the next 10 years. I believe we need to do all we can to ensure that we responsibly capitalize on the growth that our district is going to see in the next 10 years, so that our children will be able to find jobs here in our district that will allow them to stay here and to thrive. I have had a wonderful life, but I recognize that I have been lucky every step of the way. And I also recognize that if someone else were to be put in my shoes, they might not be so lucky. That is why I'm running for state senate. So that my daughter's future and your children's future will no longer be dependent upon luck. In closing, I want to leave y'all with a final thought. My husband has already let you know that I am a very competitive person. Which is true. And while, make no mistake, I am in this to win this election. And while I am certainly asking for your vote and your time and yes, your money, what we are doing now is more important than any one election. It goes beyond this election and any election. There's more to this campaign than winning. In the current political climate, it is more important than ever that we work together to make sure that our ideas are heard and that people begin to see that there is a better way forward. We need to spread the message that, yes, we can take care of each other without bankrupting ourselves.
Yes, we do. Yes.
And we can appreciate our differences without sacrificing who we are.
Yes,
viewpoints is a sign of our strength and not a sign of weakness. Our country was forged through hard-fought battles for independence and the principle that everyone is created equal. We have upheld these ideals time and time again. Therefore, while I'm asking you to support my campaign, I'm also asking you to join me in supporting these ideals once again and spreading this message. With your support, I know that we will be able to make a future that our children deserve. Thank you all so much.